Have you ever encountered a vampire? I have. Now, it wasn't the blood-sucking, cape-wearing kind of vampire, but it was still a vampire. Hi, I'm Jeff Miller, the pastor at the Belton First United Methodist Church in Belton, Texas. And thank you for joining us for these devotionals on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we're working our way through the book of Philippians, or Paul's letter to the church at Philippi. And that book or letter has been called the Letter of Joy, because in this short 4-chapter letter that Paul writes, the word joy in some form or another appears about 16 times or more. Just here are some of the examples when Paul's writing. He says, I'm thankful for all of you every time I pray, and it's always a prayer full of joy. And I'm sure of this, I will stay alive and remain with you all to help your progress and the joy of your life. And then he says, make my joy complete by being of the same mind. And then later he says, I am joyful for you. So I am joyful with all of you, and you should be joyful about this in the same way. Be joyful with me. He says, so welcome him, talking about Timothy and Epaphroditus, welcome him in the Lord with great joy. And then he says, so then, my brothers and sisters, be joyful in the Lord. It's no trouble for me to repeat the same things to you, because they will help keep you on track. And that's the verse 1 of the 3rd chapter, Philippians 3:1, where it says, so then, my brothers and sisters, be joyful in the Lord. It's no trouble for me to repeat the same things to you, because they will help keep you on track. And Paul is just, again, emphasizing the importance of people in the church being joyful. And I love the Greek word that Paul uses for joy. The Greek is something like this, but if we transliterate, it would be like kara with the hard C. Sometimes Kara. But that's the Greek word, and it's a very wonderful way to express joy, because it's not an experience that comes from outward circumstances or favorable circumstances, but it's the joy that comes from experiencing God's gift. It's a joy that God gives to each and every person, independent of our circumstances. But notice kind of the root here for joy. You know, that's how we get our word character. That's how we get the word character. And so I have you a question. Does joy describe your character? Does joy describe your character? You know, character is what kind of gives us our disposition and our spirit and our makeup. It gives quality to our life, and it's joy that is supposed to give us and be our character. But I know that sometimes we let things kind of steal our joy. I remember one time when I was in chaplain school, we had a wonderful Marine Gunnery Sergeant Crawford, as our drill instructor. And one time during PT, you know, that's physical training, we're down doing push-ups, and he gets down on the ground a few feet from me next to one of my colleagues, comrades in arms, and Gunnery Sergeant Crawford, much older than the rest of us, starts doing those push-ups, and he looks at this other chaplain candidate. He goes, "Sir, do you know you're getting paid to do these push-ups, sir? Sir, do you know the taxpayers are paying you to do these push-ups? Have you thought about giving them their money's worth?" Now, I mean, that just kind of took the whole joy out of doing push-ups. Now, I say that tongue in cheek, but there are those real instances where we have our joy stolen from us uh, those joy vampires. See, that's the kind of vampire I have encountered. Maybe you've encountered one of those strange kind of vampires. Sometimes those people that just, I don't know, maybe because they've never experienced that wonderful gift of joy in their life, that they just tend to suck the joy out of you and out of others because they don't have the true joy themselves. You know, they're not letting joy be the main character in their life. Paul says, so then, my brothers and sisters, be joyful. It's no trouble for me to repeat this again to you because this will help keep you on track. So stay on track. Don't let those joy vampires suck the character out of you. Be joyful in the Lord. Again, I say, be joyful. Because it's no trouble for me to keep repeating the same thing. Because it will help keep you on track, especially during this time. God bless you.